first thing I think is most important to look at, since the moon rules the first 4 years of a child's life, to concentrate on the moon, because with astrology we're looking at the whole map of the sky when a person's born. It's the script they're born to play, and there's the sun and the moon and Venus and Mercury and Mars and Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. Thing that has to be satisfied when the child is born is the position of the moon, because the moon is mother, the moon is also comfort zone, the moon is the child's needs, and as the child grows up, how well adjusted they are where their moon is shows how well they can develop the rest of the chart. So Grace is born with the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is probably the deepest, the most loyal, and the most intense sign of the zodiac. And so if a person's emotional self is there, then they feel things very deeply. There's a need for a sense of loyalty. There is certainly issues of abandonment, sensitive to rejection. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio needs to know that they can count on their parents, whatever's going on in their environment, that environment that there's control, and not too much control, because we could say on the other hand, that as Grace grows up, there could be too much control. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. So it depends on the fine line between trust, control, power, and so you can say, well, the first 4 years of Grace's life, she needs to know that everything around her is under control, that she can get what she expects. So the moon in Scorpio has deep and intense that need for a feeling of control and safety and security. Scorpio is pretty determined, pretty strong. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is pretty determined, pretty strong. So a child is born with the moon in Scorpio.